It always feels good when you are appreciated. SLT non-stop broadband. Free loyalty data added as you stay connected.
ලෙන්ගතුකම වැඩි කරගන්න ලව්ජු රුපියල් 50ට අඩු කළා.
මාමේ එන්න අපිට එකක් බොමු.
Tonight, don't hide behind masks. Coronavirus death toll remains confined to China, while WHO country representative says Sri Lanka well prepared to address any possible outbreak.
Use of mask, it is not needed. The country is well prepared.
No part to play. New UNP Working Committee appoints Sajith as alliance leader in absentia as mass boycotts mar meeting after committee ousters.
For most of these things, our failure, the party leader, who was the Prime Minister, is answerable.
Accommodative policy. Central Bank cuts policy rates by 50 basis points and predicts current accelerated inflation to be short-lived.
There were several factors to suggest that this acceleration in inflation is going to be short-lived.
Big bust. Police snap suspects with 192 kilograms of heroin. All that and much more coming up on First at 9 this Thursday, the 30th of January 2020.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9.
මේ සීන් එකෙන් කට් වෙන්න ඇන්ටිජර්ම් මවුත් වොෂ් සමගින් එන ක්ලෝස් අප් ජෙල් එක ස්ටෝරි එක ස්ටාර්ට් කරන්න.
Hi.
Hi.
Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to First at 9. I'm Dhamnik Eknath. Let's start with your local stories. Cabinet co-spokesperson Minister Bandula Gunawardena today presided over the weekly Cabinet media briefing where he revealed that the root cause of the balance of payments problem being faced by the current government lies with the previous government's non-payment of 130 billion rupees in contracted dues. The minister revealed that Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa is expected to make a statement in Parliament where he will table a supplementary estimate which will be utilised to settle all such contractors in full. Cabinet co-spokesperson Minister Bandula Gunawardena today revealed that a supplementary estimate is to be tabled in Parliament by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa soon in order to settle 130 billion rupees in outstanding contractor payments left over by the previous government. He also warned the opposition that failure to pass the estimate will have a major impact on the results of the upcoming parliamentary elections, where the public voice will be heard loud and very clear.
අතුරු සම්මත ගිණුමෙන් පාර්ලිමේන්තුව වෙන් කර තිබෙන මුදල හැර වෙන සතයක්වත් වැඩිපුර දැරීමට නීත්‍යානුකූල අයිතියක් භාණ්ඩාගාරයට නැහැ. ඒ නිසා අවශ්‍ය ලෙස ණය ආරම්භ වියදම් කරන්නටත් බෑ. ප්‍රශ්නය තවදුරටත් උග්‍ර වෙලා තියෙන්නේ දිනපතාම රජයේ විසින් පසුගිය වර්ෂයේදී ගෙවිය යුතු ඒත් ගෙවලා නැති මුදල් ඉල්ලාගෙන කොන්ත්‍රාත්කරුවෝ සැපියුම්කරුවෝ සියලු දෙනා පැමිණෙනවා. රුපියල් බිලියන 130ක් ගෙවලා නැහැ. මං හිතන්නේ ලංකා ඉතිහාසයේ කිසිම ආණ්ඩුවකට මුහුණ දෙන්න සිද්ධ නොවුන තත්ත්වයක්. ලබන පාර්ලිමේන්තු සතියේදී අග්‍රාමාත්‍ය හා මුදල් අමාත්‍ය ගරු මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමා විසින් පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට විශේෂ ප්‍රකාශයක් සංඛ්‍යා දත්ත හා සත්‍ය ඇතුළත් ප්‍රකාශනයක් කරලා මේ මුදල් ටික ගෙවීම සඳහා අතිරේක අරමුදල් ඉල්ලා සිටින නැවතත් පරිපූර්ණක ඇස්තමේන්තුවක් ඉදිරිපත් කරන්නට සිද්ධ වෙලා තියෙන බව මම සඳහන් කරන්නට කැමැතියි.
ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා දැනට මැජොරිටි එක තියෙන ඇමතුමා UNP විරුද්ධ පක්ෂ. මේකෙදී
දුන්නේ නැත්නම් ඉතින් ඒ අර ඊළඟ ඡන්දය ආපුවාම පාර්ලිමේන්තුවකට එවී යුත්තේ එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේද නැද්ද කියන එක පිළිබඳ හොඳ තීන්දුවක් ජනතාව ගනිය. පාර්ලිමේන්තුවෙන් මේ මුදල් අනුමත කරගත් වහාම ඔවුන්ගේ සියලු හිඟ මුදල් ගෙවන්නට කටයුතු කරනවා කියන ටික මම මතක් කරනවා. ඒ නිසා තමයි පසුගිය කාලෙදී ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමා ඊටාම පිරිමැසුම්දායක උත්සව පවත්වන්නේ බෝඩ් ගහන්නේ ප්‍රචාරණ කරන්නේ අලුතෙන් වාහන ගන්නෑ වාහන පෙළහැරවල් යන්නේ වංචාව හොරකම දූෂණය නතර කරන පිළිවෙතකට අනුව තමයි මේ ගමන කරන්නේ. දෙවෙනි කරුණ මේ විපක්ෂ නායකතුමා ලෝක khනිජ තෙල් මිල පහත බැසීමේ වාසිය ආණ්ඩුව ජනතාවට ලබා දෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. විපක්ෂ විපක්ෂ නායකතුමා මොනවා නන්න දොඩවනවද කියලා මට තේරෙන්නේ. මේ වන විට අලෙවි කරන සෑම පෙට්‍රල් ලීටරයකින්ම රුපියල් 9ක් ඩීසල් ලීටරයකින්ම රුපියල් 12ක් අලාභයි පාඩු. ඇති වෙලා තියෙන අලාභය පමණක් රුපියල් බිලියන 12යි. මේ බිලියන 12ක අලාභය ಖನಿಜ තෙල් සංස්ථාව දරනවා කියන්නේ මේක දරාගන්නෙත් මේ රටේ ජනතාවම තමයි.
Now, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa expressed concern about the drug menace in the country today and revealed that strong instructions have been issued to the country's law enforcement authorities to take urgent action to curb this situation. The Prime Minister also reassured the public of the need to maintain calm in the wake of coronavirus fears, adding that the government has already taken all necessary steps to curtail the spread of the virus among the local population. He made these comments when addressing a religious event in Managua this morning.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa was chief guest at a religious event that worked off this morning at the Bauddha Mandira in Managua.
අද මත් ද්‍රව්‍ය වලින් මේ රට ගිලගන්න පටන් අරන් තියෙනවා. පහුගිය කාලය තුලදී විශාල වශයෙන් අපේ දරුවෝ කුඩු වලට මත් පෙට්ටි වලට බැහැ වෙන්න පටන් අරගත්ත බව අපිට දැන් පැහැදිලි. අදත් මම හිතන්නේ වාර්තා වුණා මේ හොරණ ප්‍රදේශයෙන් කිලෝග්‍රෑම් 150ක මත් ද්‍රව්‍ය අත්අඩංගුවට ගන්න පොලිසිය සමත් වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් මේ විශාල ප්‍රමාණ ලබා ගැනීමෙන් සමාජය තුල අපේ අලුත් තරුණ පරපුර විනාශ වෙලා යනවා දකින්න අපිට සිද්ධ වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් මේකට අපි තදබල ලෙස පියවර ගැනීමට කටයුතු කරන්නට පොලිසියට දන්වලා තියෙනවා. මම සන්තෝෂ වෙනවා අද මෙතන රැස් වෙලා ඉන්න කෙනෙක්වත් මුඛය වහගෙන ආපු නැති එක ගැන. මම ගියා ඊයේ මගේ අමාත්‍යාංශයට යනකොට තරුණයෝ 4 දෙනෙක් විතර හිටගෙන ඉන්නවා පාර දිහා බලාගෙන මුඛය ආවරණය කරගෙන. මට තේරුන්නේ නැහැ උන් මේක මේ ස්ටයිල් එකට කරනවද? ඉතින් මේ වගේ සමහර අය ඉල්ලීම් කරනවා ඉන්දියාවෙන් මේවා ගෙන්නන්න කියලා. ඒකත් ආණ්ඩුවෙන් ගෙන්නන්න. හැබැයි මං හිතනවා අපි කලබල විය යුතු නැහැ. රජයක් වශයෙන් ගන්න සියලු පියවර අරගෙන තියෙනවා මේ රට පතිරවීම වැළැක්වීම සඳහා. තාම එක ලෙඩෙක් විතරයි හම්බ වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් ඒක නිසා අපි කලබල විය යුතු නැහැ.
Coronavirus fears are at an all-time high at present, with the current death toll reported at 170, which is an increase of 38 deaths within the past 24-hour period in China. However, China's containment efforts have been praised by top WHO officials who engaged in an inspection visit in the past few days with the Chinese authorities, attributing the low confirmed overseas cases to the efficacy of their methods. Meanwhile, both Chinese and international vaccine developers have expressed hope that a new and effective vaccine may be only a few months away from trials, with the Chinese government having lost no time in releasing the genetic code of the virus to aid in these efforts.
As the city of Wuhan continues to remain in a state of lockdown, the coronavirus death toll as of today has risen to 170 in China, with no fatalities reported as yet from the 21 countries that have confirmed cases so far. This brings the number of deaths within the last 24-hour period to 38, highlighting the increasing seriousness of the outbreak. Accordingly, the number of infected has also risen, reaching 7,711, with the majority of them reported from 31 provinces across China. Meanwhile, an Indian student from Wuhan has been detected as infected with the virus in Kerala. In this backdrop, China's Center of Disease Control claimed that the small number of cases reported abroad was evidence that China is having success in controlling its spread. At a media briefing in Geneva, senior WHO officials introduced the situation they observed in China during their visit. The officials revealed that in their next step, the organization will be sending an expert team to China as soon as possible to work with the Chinese to combat the disease together.
The continued increase in cases and the evidence of human-to-human transmission outside China are, of course, both deeply concerning, although the numbers outside China are still relatively small. They hold the potential for a much larger outbreak. I have therefore decided to reconvene the International Health Regulations Emergency Committee on Novel Coronavirus 2019 to advise me on whether the outbreak represents a public health emergency of international concern, and to seek their recommendations on how best to protect people all over the world.
During our trip to China, we were very impressed with the level of engagement of the Chinese government at all levels. Personally, I think myself and the Director General have never seen the scale, commitment of an epidemic response at this level, in terms of all of government involvement across all of the different arms of government, with tremendous support being poured into Wuhan and Hubei from the central government, with a highly organised emergency management structure.
Meanwhile, reports have been coming in of a case of infection from an asymptomatic carrier, meaning someone who had displayed no symptoms at all. This has given rise to concerns regarding the efficacy of current testing methods in dealing with such a development. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization corrected the coronavirus threat assessment to high internationally from its previous moderate assessment and are meeting today to discuss whether the epidemic constitutes a global health emergency or not. With an acute shortage of beds in Wuhan, city officials are now spearheading the building of a 1,000-bed hospital in only 6 days, with further plans to build a second dedicated hospital with 1,300 beds over a 2-week period. The completion date for the first facility has been set for 3rd February, which will function as both a quarantine and a treatment center. Meanwhile, the race for a vaccine continues, following the release of the virus's genetic code by Chinese officials shortly after identifying the exact virus strain. This has given researchers a head start, with reports in international media of a San Diego-based laboratory revealing that, having used the Chinese-provided DNA, they are in the process of utilizing a relatively new type of DNA technology to develop a potential vaccine called INO 4800, which they revealed could enter human trials by June. Meanwhile, an academic with the Chinese Academy of Engineering said that China's own development of a vaccine for novel coronavirus is underway, with a seed strain already cultivated through a cell strain, and revealed a 2.5-month timeline for the first vaccine to be developed for approval. With many countries having introduced increased screenings at all travel entry points to detect possible carriers, Chairman of the Airport and Aviation Authority, Major General G.A. Chandrasiri, outlined preventative measures implemented at the Bandaranaike International Airport.
ගේට්ටු 6 සහ 8 චීනයේ සිටින සියලුම ගුවන් යානා අපි ගන්නවා ඒ ගේට්ටු මගින්. ඒ ගේට්ටු වලින් ඇතුළු වුණු ගමන් ඔවුන් ඉස්සෙල්ලාම අර ස්කෑනර් යන්ත්‍රය මගින් ඔවුන් චෙක් කිරීම ආරම්භ කරනවා. ඒ සියලුම මගින්ව නැවත වරක් එතන අපේ වෛද්‍යවරුන් සොයා බලනවා ඔවුන්ට මොකක් හරි ආසාදනයක් තියෙනවද ඒ ස්කෑනර් යන්ත්‍රයට හොයාගන්න බැරුණු ඒ අරුණ විට අපේ ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයන් ඔවුන් ආවොත් ඔවුන් සියලු දෙනාම අපි වෙනම එතන ඉඳවලා ඔවුන්ට උපදෙස් මාලාවක් දෙනවා ඊළඟ දින 14 ඇතුළත ඔවුන් කෙසේද ආරක්ෂා විය යුතු කියලා ගෙවල් වලට ගියාම ඊට පස්සේ අපි දෙනවා ඔවුන්ට මෙන්න මේ ෆෝම් එක මේක පැය 24ම යන සම්පූර්ණ ක්‍රියාවලියක් අපේ විද්‍යාඥයෙක් හොයාගෙන තියෙනවා ඒකට කියන්නේ නැනෝ ටෙක්නොලොජි කියලා ඒ නැනෝ ටෙක්නොලොජි එකෙන් කරන්නේ මේක ඇතුලේ තියෙන වාතය සම්පූර්ණ පිරිසිදු කරනවා ඒ වගේ මැෂින් 15ක් දැන් අපි ඒ තැන විතරක් හයි කරලා තියෙනවා මැෂින් එකක් ඒකට වැදුනා මේ ගුවන් මගියාගේ ඇඟට
Meanwhile, satellite images of Wuhan city showed deserted streets, seemingly a testament to China's efforts to reduce the spread of the potentially fatal virus out of Wuhan. However, as Sri Lankan students still remain stuck in Wuhan with the lockdown still in effect, Foreign Minister Dinesh Gunawardena today assured the public of the government's strongest efforts to bring them back home. Meanwhile, over 100 more Sri Lankan students from various other parts of China arrived back in the country last night. The Chinese authorities have placed restrictions on specific areas to prevent the spread of the virus. The government is taking all steps to repatriate all Sri Lankans from those areas at the earliest opportunity.
වුහාන් වල පළාත තමයි ඉතින් ලොකු බරපතල තත්ත්වයක් තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් අපි චෙක් කරලා තමයි එහෙමුත් එව්වේ. මෙහෙමුත් චෙක් කරලා තමයි අපි මෙහෙට එව්වේ. ඒක නිසා කිසිම බය වෙන එකට දෙයක් නැහැ.
ගොඩක් ළමයි ගියා බංග්ලාදේශ, ඉන්දියාවේ ළමයි ඔක්කොලාම ගියා. ඒ නිසා පොඩි ළමයි කට්ටියක් යුනිවර්සිටි එකේ තියාගෙන ඉන්න බැරි නිසා අපිටත් යන්න කියලා කිව්වා. ඒ නිසා අපි ආවා.
Meanwhile, Health Ministry officials revealed only one confirmed case, with 17 patients having been admitted on suspicion so far. In addition, it was also revealed that another Chinese national employed in a Chinese company in Pothuhera had been admitted to the Kurunegala Teaching Hospital suspected of coronavirus infection, but resultant test results had come back negative.
Now then, World Health Organization country representative Dr. Razia Pense says that there exists no gaps in Sri Lanka's readiness to handle any possible coronavirus outbreak, with its infrastructure adequate and in a good state of preparedness. She made these comments in discussion with Indivari Amuatta on our current affairs program at Hyde Park today.
170 dead internationally, 7,700 individuals affected worldwide. In Sri Lanka, one positive case. You continue to reiterate that there is no necessity to have unnecessary fear or panic. Why do you say that? What measures are being taken? How positive are you of this situation given the measures taken in Sri Lanka?
Even with the numbers, and the numbers are changing by the day, the important thing is to have the preparedness and then the response capacity of what needs to be done. WHO works closely with the Ministry of Health and the Disaster Preparedness Unit as well as the Disaster Management Center to ensure that the country is well prepared to address any emergency of this sort. So we have all the necessary stockpiles, what is needed in terms of protective equipment. In this present situation, we are working very closely with the Ministry of Health to look at the preparedness in the hospitals, to also look at the different stockpiles, what could be the anticipated need to see does the country have it. If required, then we can quickly mobilize our international networks to get the supplies that is needed. We don't see any kind of a huge gap here. The preparedness is very well. It has been monitored from the highest level. One case was identified and quickly also tested positive. This information was quickly provided to the World Health Organization. And for travelers who are coming from China, the measures have been instituted in order to track these people to see if they develop symptoms so that measures could be taken. So I would say that the country is geared up and is prepared in order to address if there is even, possibility of more cases coming in.
There's concern that it is only the hospital in IDH, the infectious diseases hospital, that only has the capability to address a situation in a possible outbreak in Sri Lanka. What's the WHO's observation of Sri Lanka's hospital capacity?
As per our latest discussions with the Ministry of Health, we have 12 hospitals that have been identified and prepared in the event that there would be more cases and more cases would require hospitalization.
We see face masks being used. Just a couple of days back, it was declared that face masks are not a necessity because the spread of this virus not necessarily is airborne.
It's a respiratory disease, droplet infection. One thing which really helps prevent spread of this disease is personal protection measures, frequent hand washing. It sounds like common sense, but that is the most effective way of preventing spread of this disease, preventing yourself from getting this disease.
Basic hygiene.
Basic hygiene, which has absolutely, and everyone has to practice that. Washing hands and having respiratory hygiene. What do we mean by this? Is when you're coughing or sneezing, ensure that you're covering or doing it in the curve of your elbow, and after that immediately wash your hands so that droplet spread is limited. Then, especially when we are having meat, it is properly cooked, and that we have again our hygiene and personal protection while handling especially raw meat.
Right.
According to the World Health Organization, use of masks by general public is not indicated. So if you have cough, fever or respiratory difficulty, or if you're handling a person who is having these symptoms, or if you're a health worker working in health settings where you are interacting with patients who have these signs and symptoms. So there the use of mask is beneficial and must be used. For general public, I reiterate, it is not needed. I don't think so in Sri Lanka we have this culture of wearing masks all the time. So it also creates a sense of panic. Panic does not help prevent the disease.
We'll be back after this short break. Bear with us. Welcome back. You're watching First at 9. Now, the United National Party worked off its working committee meeting today amid a boycott by some of its members, including opposition leader Sajith Premadasa. The absence of 16 members was intended as a protest over the ousting of 4 of working committee members, including MP Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca. As the proceedings got underway, the committee decided to hand Premadasa the leadership of the broader alliance, albeit in absentia. The official tenure of the United National Party's working committee came to an end on the 31st of December. After appointing new members, the new working committee convened at the party headquarters Sirikota around 3 p.m. today under the patronage of party leader Ranil Wickremesinghe. The meeting was expected to yield a conclusion to the party leadership issue. However, MP Harin Fernando informed AdaDerana that 35 members of the committee will be boycotting the meeting in protest of parliamentarians Ajit P. Pereira, Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca and former MP Imtiaz Bakir Marker and Colombo Mayor Rosie Senanayake being removed from the working committee.
This decision has been taken purely with the whims and fancies of the party leader. He had not gone through any proper procedure to take this decision. Even people like the deputy leader Sajith Premadasa, other office bearers like Kabir Rashim and they were unaware of this situation. It had not happened as per the democratic procedures. So on the other hand, the party was rejected, we were losing the election. The party supporters have got fed up because the way we were working, we were not even interested to look after the supporters of our party. A lot of decisions are taken in the party by the leader after consulting few people who are very close to him, 5 or 6 people, but we were kept in the dark. So that's a problem. As it is right now, the majority of our party supporters and also majority of the members of the parliament, they all feel that there is no point in going for another election under the leadership of Ranil Wickremesinghe. For most of these things, our failure, the party leader, who was the Prime Minister, is answerable. So he took most of the decision. We were helpless. The party leader has failed, the Prime Minister failed. So that's why the party supporters and everybody are asking for a change now. Not being in the working committee will not affect my personal political activities. Therefore, I am not much bothered.
16 members of the UNP Working Committee, including opposition leader Sajith Premadasa, didn't participate in today's meeting. 2 MPs who backed Sajith Premadasa during the presidential election, Mangala Samarveera and Malik Samaravikrama, however, did attend the meeting. Subsequently, those who were present aired their views to media.
දැන් අද දින කෘත්‍යාධාරී මණ්ඩලයේ රැස්වීමේදී සන්දානයේ නායකත්වය සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මහතාට දෙන්න ඒකමතිකව තීරණය වුණා. කෘත්‍යාධාරී මණ්ඩලයේ මන්ත්‍රීවරු 40 ගණක් අසං කරලා දීලා තියෙනවා සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මැතිතුමත් නායකතුමත් අත්වල බැඳගෙන යන්න ඕන කියලා. ඉතින් ඒ අනුව පක්ෂ නායකත්වයේ දැනට රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමා ඒ තත්ත්වෙම ඉන්නවා.
හැබැයි මේකේ බහුතරයක් සන්දානයේ බලයේ තියෙන එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයට නිසා එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ කෙනෙක් ලේකම් විය යුතුයි අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම කියන තීන්දුවත් අරගත්තා.
35 දෙනෙක් සහභාගී වුණේ
නෑ. ඒක වැරදි. අද වෙනකොට කෘත්‍යාධිකාරී මණ්ඩලයේ සමාජිකයන් 59 දෙනෙක් පමණ පත් කරලා තිබුණා. මේ 59 දෙනාගෙන් 37 දෙනෙක් අද පැමිණලා සිටියා. ඒ වගේම 6 දෙනෙක් එන්නේ නැහැ කියලා දැනුම් දීලා තිබුණා. ඒ අනුව අද 16 දෙනෙක් පැමිණලා සිටියේ නැහැ. මේ කෘත්‍යාධිකාරී මණ්ඩලය පැවැත්වුණා ගණපූර්ණයක් තිබුණ නිසා. ඒ වගේම 2 දෙනෙක් පමණයි අද හිටපු අයගෙන් පත් කරලා නැත්. පසුගිය දවසක තිබුණ කණ්ඩායම් රැස්වීමේදී අජිත් පෙරමැතිතුමාගේ හැසිරීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් පක්ෂයේ විනය කඩ කරමින් කටයුතු කිරීම සහ ප්‍රකාශ කිරීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් කෘත්‍යාධිකාරී සභිකයන් ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් පක්ෂ නායකවරයාට දැනුම් දීලා තිබුණා. ඒ හේතු මත තමයි මේ තීරණය ගත්තේ සරත් පොන්සේකා මැතිතුමා. එතුමා සම්බන්ධයෙන් පැමිණිලි ගණනාවක් ලැබිලා තියෙනවා විශේෂයෙන් එතුමා කරපු ප්‍රකාශ සම්බන්ධයෙන්. ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන්ුත් සාකච්ඡා කරලා ඉදිරියේදී අවශ්‍ය පියවර ගන්න පුළුවන්. එතුමාලා ඒ ගැන කනගාටු ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා නම්.
පක්ෂ නායකවරයා දැනුම් දෙන්න නැහැ කියලා.
නෑ අපිට දැනුම් කරලා තිබුණා. දැන් අපි තීරණය කරා මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මැතිතුමාට දැනුම් දීලා මැතිවරණය මෙහෙවන්න තුමාට ඒ නායකත්වය දෙන්නත් තීරණය කළා තියෙනවා. ඒක අපි සාකච්ඡා කරලා ගන්නවා.
Now, 3 suspects were arrested by police with 192 kilograms of heroin, 10 pistols and 19 magazines in the Bandaragama Police Division. According to police, the arrests were made based on a tip-off received by the Police Crime Division of Palyagoda that heroin belonging to a presently incarcerated individual is being transported by a woman in Bandaragama. Based on the information, a 27-year-old woman was arrested by the police with 15 kilograms of heroin along with her motorcycle. Police found another 177 kilograms of heroin when her house was searched, and 2 other people present at the residence were also taken into custody. It is said that the stash of heroin taken into custody today is the remainder of the 400 kilogram stock of heroin brought to the country by underworld leader Makandure Madush. Further investigations on the case are being conducted under the supervision of the DIG of the Western Province North. Now, Central Bank Governor Professor W.D. Lakshman, speaking at the Monetary Policy Review briefing today, expressed confidence that the country's acceleration in inflation will be short-lived, with its cause mainly attributed to food inflation rather than any overheating of the economy. The central bank announced a policy rate cut of 50 basis points today in what the governor termed as affirmation of its accommodative monetary policy stance.
The Monetary Board has decided to reduce the policy interest rates of the central bank by 50 basis points. This action by the Monetary Board is intended to affirm its accommodative monetary policy stance and also cause a further reduction in the cost of funds faced by financial institutions. On the inflation front, particularly at the national level, has been a concern. However, there were several factors to suggest that this acceleration in inflation is going to be short-lived. This acceleration was caused by food inflation rather than any overheating of the economy. Domestic supply conditions are already gradually improving. CCPI-based inflation has continued to remain within the 4 to 6% range, which we are targeting. Core inflation, which better reflects demand conditions, has decelerated. Projections indicate that inflation is well anchored at envisaged levels. Growth has remained subdued. Economic growth in 2019 is likely to be around 2.6%. There has been a notable improvement in business confidence caused by political stability and targeted measures taken by authorities to boost demand. With these developments, growth is likely to start going up, and we predict exceed 4% in 2020. Credit to the private sector has gradually commenced expanding. Revival in confidence and revival in economic activity, fiscal measures, the credit relief package, declining interest rates will help sustain the acceleration of credit growth over time. Although market lending rates are generally on a declining path, there were several indicators that the decline was slowing down. The view of the Monetary Board was that the lending rates should continue to decline, and this was a key factor that supported the decision of the board this time.
Now, taking a look at currency, the rupee closed at 181 rupees and 50 to 65 cents to the US dollar in the spot market today. The rupee closed at 181 rupees and 45 to 55 cents to the greenback yesterday. Now, in the meantime, Sri Lanka's stocks ended 0.14% weaker today, dragged down by non-bank financial firms. The all-share price index closed 8.58 points down at 5,927.72. The S&P SL20 of more liquid stocks closed 6.40 points up at 2,836.60. Market turnover was 897.34 million rupees, while 46 stocks gained and 66 fell. Now, here's a brief report on today's market performance.
At the first monetary policy review of the year, which was held today, the central bank reduced the SDFR and SLFR by 50 basis points each to 6.5% and 7.5%. The secondary bond market also followed suit, witnessing a downward trend in movement in yields across the board, though with a lot of buying interest. In the stock market, the market turnover was mainly boosted by large parcels of banking sector counters changing hands, contributing about 80% to the turnover. Foreigners were mainly onto the selling side on these banking sector counters, as we saw high foreign participation today. The local institutions were mostly onto the buy side. The overall market was in red today, reverting back to the negative sentiment, mainly dragged down by price losses in LOLC and Mercer Corp. The benchmark index SPI witnessed a volatile movement, reaching an intraday low of 5,921 points before rebounding marginally to close at 5,928 points, losing about 9 points for the day.
We'll see you again on the other side of this break. Welcome back. This is First at 9. Now, a Democratic push to force Republicans to accept witnesses at President Donald Trump's impeachment trial in the U.S. Senate appeared to be flagging yesterday, raising the possibility he could be acquitted as early as today. As senators questioned both the Trump legal team and the Democratic managers of the trial, Trump's lawyer offered an expansive defense of presidential power that provoked astonishment among Democrats. And that's it from all of us here at First at 9. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.